It's time for the Everyday Ag Podcast. And here's your host, Patrick Twining.
Well, hello and welcome back. We are on the third episode of the Everyday Ag Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Twining. Glad to have you back. It's February 14th, Valentine's Day, for those of you that choose to celebrate that. For me, I think it's just that gap holiday between Christmas and Easter where the chocolatiers and the greenhouses need to make money and they made a holiday. But that's on you if you want to celebrate it. It's February 14th, and this weather has been so much nicer since when I talked to you last. This is the winter time that I appreciate. It'd be nice if it was froze, but we're not up to our knees in mud, so I'll take it. And greener pastures are hopefully right around the corner. You know, one thing that came up since I talked to y'all last, my wife brought up, Emily brought up, in one of her late nights, farmers are on call 24/7. Especially in the livestock industry. You know, we can't plan the farm around our lives. We plan our life around the farm. I like to pick on crop farmers because I call them part-time farmers. They plant in the spring, they go golf in the summer, or go to baseball games or whatever they choose to do. And then they come back, combine season, harvest the crops, and then head to Florida, North Carolina, wherever they want to go. Not really. They're just as busy as we are in the off season, but on a different level. You know, they're working on equipment. They're fine-tuning the tractors, the planters, the combine, all that good stuff. But if they want to take a day off and go golfing or go to a baseball game or what have you, they have that opportunity. Now, they give up a lot also in those peak busy times, especially for those that have kids. You know, they miss spring baseball games, spring track meets, potentially football games in the fall. If the weather's right and farm work needs done, then they have to adjust their schedule. Per usual, I digress. So back at the end of the month, Em was pretty much up all night because Cappy was not acting normal. He was not himself, and she was worried that he might be colicking. Something was wrong. He's 25. He's not allowed to die yet, but he's old. And so when something is off just a little bit, you start to worry. And so she was up walking him around the arena, keeping him active, trying to get his gut going, giving him feed, rubbing him down, just, you know, antibiotics, everything she needed to do to get him right. And it triggered that thought that, you know, I'd rather be sleeping, but he needs attention. And so here we are. And the same thing happens during calving season, during lambing season, during kidding season, during foaling season. When babies are hitting the ground, it's all hands on deck, and you're making sure that they are coming into this world safely, healthy. Mom's doing fine. It's, you know, it's a whole process, and by doing so, we give up a lot of our leisure time, if you will. As we're talking about babies, we had babies at the farm. kind of surprisingly, not surprisingly, I knew they were coming. They just came earlier than I expected. Ginger, my red female border collie, I got to the farm, I believe that was Sunday morning, and there were puppies on the ground in the milk house, squirreling around. Now, she had 7 total. Unfortunately, 5 of them were stillborn with some birth defects. But she's an older dog, and I'm guessing, just as with humans, that her age is what played the factor in those puppies all not being right, not being healthy, what have you. The 2 live ones, there's one boy and one girl, and they're fat and sassy. I mean, there's 2 of them eating for 7, and so they're taking everything they can, and they're getting big in a hurry. And we're, what are we now, 10 days out, 9 days out, and they've already got their eyes open, which is, with border collies, that's kind of, I guess it's right on pace, but it's also kind of early. We kind of figured 10 days to 2 weeks they start opening their eyes, and so they're on the early side of that. Now, I say I was surprised with the puppies being there so early because, again, nature doesn't always work the way we want it to. When I saw Ginger coming into heat, I wanted to breed her to another male other than Spur, which is my male on the farm. So I watched her, engaged her activity, and we'll get into that more on my breeding artificial insemination AI talk in March. But I was watching her because, you got to catch that right window of activity. And so I thought I had her right. I took her up to my friend who has a blue Merle male whose name is Merle. And the first time we went up, she was not having it. She did not want anything to do with him, but that was the first time she met him. So I took it as, hey, this, they need to get acclimated. She's not ready yet. We'll go back home. Took her up the next time, a couple days later, when my boys at the farm were saying, hey, it's time. Left her up there for 18 hours. In the observations that Merle's owner made, they did nothing. And when puppies hit the ground 5 days earlier than they were supposed to with Merle's cover, it was evident that Spur did his job and got her stuck instead, got her pregnant. And it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. There's 2 puppies on the ground. I'm happy for that. We'll take it, and I'll sell these 2 pups. And I've actually already found Spur's next girlfriend down in Tennessee that was born, last Friday, Thursday or Friday. So in 7 weeks, I'll be able to sell my 2 pups, and in 8 weeks, I'll be able to go to Tennessee and get a new one, which is always fun. But that'll make 6 dogs for us, which is a lot, but you guys know what the rest of our menagerie of animals are, so, there's that. What's one more, right? So going back to Ginger, being in labor, I was worried, because she was in labor for nearly 48 hours. That's not normal. Usually when the first ones come out, then it's, one every hour, bang, 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 bang. Out they come, you move on. I wasn't sure what to expect because the last litter I had from Ginger, she only had 1 stillborn puppy. Just 1. That was it. So I assumed she was a small litter female. It happens. Not the case. So finally, on day number 2, when there were still puppies coming out at 4-6 hour intervals, I called the vet. What I tell you guys last show, when you're in doubt, call the vet, call your doctor, get attention. So I called the local vet and got instructions from him, got her on oxytocin every hour to ensure that she was done having puppies, because oxytocin is a natural hormone that kicks all that process into motion. The contractions of the uterus, milk let down, the whole 9 yards. She was then on penicillin twice a day for 3 days just to make sure that if there was any internal infection, we were ahead of it and we were kicking it. She's doing good now. She's doing great. Taking care of the pups. When I'm at the farm, she's ready to get out of there and not be around them and take a break. Somebody else can take care of them. It's kind of fun. They're also getting to their little bear stage, as I call it, so they're cute and roly-poly, and it's a bunch of fun. I like having puppies around, and it's one of those things. New life just brings more excitement to the farm. What else is going on at the farm? Well, I'm out of hay. I'm buying hay now. I knew I was going to be short. I didn't think I was going to be this short. The mow is empty. I'm trucking hay a couple times a week, whatever I have to do to keep the cows fed. But now that the mow's empty, it's time to start looking into what am I going to do about replacing the roof. It's dilapidated. It's not great. I'll have pictures for you when I get this episode on YouTube. I took some pictures of the inside and the outside of the hay mow, so you've got an idea of what dilapidated mess that is going on. It'll be a process, but at least I know now I have plenty of time to plan ahead so that when nice weather finally hits, work can start and then hopefully be done before nasty weather comes again in the fall. Let's take a quick break. Have you heard about the creamy delight waiting for you at the Carlisle Creamery? Introducing their small herd share program, bringing you the finest raw milk straight from the happiest pasture-raised cows north of Route 20. At Carlisle Creamery, the Hamkers believe in the purity of nature. Their cows graze on lush green pastures, producing milk rich in flavors and nutrients. Join their herd share and experience the goodness of farm fresh raw milk right in your own home. Get to know your producer, know their cows personally, and see firsthand where this wholesome product is being produced. Become a part of the Carlisle Creamery family today. Look them up on Facebook or email them at carlislecreamery@gmail.com. Taste the difference at Carlisle Creamery, where every sip tells a story of pure, wholesome goodness. And as always, know your producer. While we're talking about milk, Thursday and Friday this last week, we lost another dairy farm, local dairy farm, Conrad's, on the corner of Indian Hollow and Foster Road, if you're familiar with that area, just outside of Penfield. Had to sell out. And as cordial as I can say it, the EPA drove them out of business, drove them out of the dairy industry. I'm all about clean water, keeping the lake clean, keeping everything safe, especially for our drinking water. But when a large entity like that comes down here and picks on our farmers, when there's how many housing developments closer to the lake that are spraying their lawns every Wednesday, regardless of what the weather is. If it's raining, that water's running right into the lake. There's no doubt about it. And then you've also got the municipalities along the lake that are pumping sewage into the lake and whatever. I get on a tangent. The EPA gave Conrad's a choice of essentially building their own water treatment plant, so one that would rival any local villages around here, or sell the cows, move on, find something else to do. Easy for them to say. Rick and Dave and their whole family have worked generations to get that herd of cows where they are, where they were today. But they had a great 2-day sale, knocked it out of the park. On Thursday, they sold all the milk cows, all the old cows. We'll go with that. All the old animals. They averaged $2,740, so $2,740 on 247 cows. On Friday, they sold all of the young stock and averaged $2,693 on 238 head. Their top animal on Friday, that topped the whole sale, sold for $106,000. $106,000 for a baby calf. She was maybe 6 months old, but phenomenal. Phenomenal genetics. Like I said, they've worked on it for generations. And that's the second time in recent history that Conrads have sold one individual animal for over $100,000. For a family like that, for a farm like that, that's astounding. Absolutely amazing. They averaged just over $2,700 per animal over that 2-day sale. That's, we'll say 500 head over 2 days that sold for $2,700 a piece. That's going to be one of the biggest farm sales, family farm sales that we're going to see as far as total gross in a long time, in the past and in the future. It was fun to be a part of it. I was only able to go Friday, but that was good enough for me. I got to haul 2 loads out of there, one Friday night to almost Indiana. And that was $29,000 on my trailer. One calf alone was $15,000. The other cows averaged about $3,000. So they were right around average for the sale. Saturday morning, I got to take a load of calves down to Mennonite country down in Shelby, down Richland County. And then I found out on Monday that this Friday, so 2 days from now, I get to take a load of baby calves, 13 baby calves, up to just west of Madison, Wisconsin. That's going to be a trip. I haven't done that in a while. I'm going to try to be out and back in a day. It's an 8-hour drive one way, so it'll be a long day, but it needs done. I'm happy to do it. It's another one of my pairs of pants that I wear, if you will. One of the many jobs that I do, one of the many reasons why I'm here talking to you guys today. I've got the truck, I've got the trailer, I've got the know-how, and so off we go. That means I have to clean and disinfect the trailer tomorrow night. That way, these baby calves, which are, they're babies, they're susceptible to a lot of diseases. We don't want anything that's in the trailer from other animals to affect them. So I'll clean and sanitize the trailer before I take them up and put fresh sawdust in the trailer and close all the slats off. That way it's nice and warm going up to chilly Wisconsin. Let's take one more quick break before I wrap up today. This show brought to you in part by Keller Meats in Litchfield, just north of the Circle on State Route 83. They are the prime destination for all your locally sourced beef, pork, lamb, and goat custom processing, as well as a full retail counter. go to kellermeats.com or visit them on Facebook for more information. So, what else have I been doing lately? Because, I don't have anything to do ever. My Saturdays, when I'm not working, have been filled over at the horse barn where Em boards her horses and where she cleans stalls and feeds. There's a couple areas in the barn that we've been building new stalls in, fit more horses. Replacing posts, moving posts, putting up center walls. Soon we'll be putting fronts on those stalls that we've put the center walls on. Tedious work. But, it's important to make sure all the boards are tight, all the boards are level, the horses aren't going to bust through them, the horses aren't going to be able to see anyone beside them, because if they see beside them, it's not going to say it's bad, but it's not great. They like their privacy. And then this summer, once we get stalls done, there's another part of the barn that the side needs, the old metal siding needs torn off, new siding put on. That way we can build new stalls in that section. And then we get the task of fixing old fences, building new pasture fence. Who knows what else we'll get into. But it's one of those things that when I do have some free time, or when I don't feel like working on projects at the farm, I can go work over there and make some good side cash. That's always good to have in the pocket. And they're great people over there. That makes it nice when you've got someone that's fun to work with. They're great to their boarders. They're great people all around. So it's nice to be able to go over there and make some extra cash when I can. So as we're wrapping up today, don't forget about the YouTube channel. If you want to go back and listen to the show again, it's the Everyday Ag Podcast YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search that. You'll be able to find it. Apparently, I need to go and do a little more research myself on that to open up the comment section on those podcasts so that if you have questions, you can go ahead and comment there. And I'll also, if I can figure it out, learning curve, be able to put links on there for the merchandise we have. The clothing that I'm selling at CraftyDawnBoutique.com. Just go to the search icon and search Everyday Ag Podcast. We've got koozies for $5. Men's and women's tees are $25. Sweatshirts are also available for $50. And so go there, check those out, order a couple, help me out to help get you good content. And always, if you have questions, you can email butterpigpartners@gmail.com or go to the Butterpig Partners Facebook page, where I'm always putting up new content, whether it's what's going on at the farm, upcoming shows, what we've been getting into, you name it, it's there. I try to keep up with that as much as possible. Of course, as the days get longer and weather gets nicer, I get busy. I don't like to be inside. I don't like to be on the computer, so sometimes I get a little lackadaisical on that, but I'll try to keep you all updated on that as best as possible. For those of you that follow the Facebook page, I realized today that I haven't done any updates on Bunny. So I need to get out and talk to her and see what she's been doing and get you a Bunny update now that she's living with all of the big pigs and getting to be a big pig herself. She doesn't have her large friends to lay on top of. I think maybe some of them are laying on top of her now. And get you a bunny update now that she's living with all of the big pigs and getting to be a big pig herself. She doesn't have, but that's how that goes. And we got 25 more pigs again today. So the little pigs are thriving and doing well, and pretty soon they'll be big pigs themselves. It's the circle of life, right? So with that, we will wrap up here as we're getting close to 7 o'clock, I see. Next show, the end of the month, maybe I'll actually be able to get into the history of the farm. I've been wanting to do that for the last 2 episodes, and thankfully I've had content to talk about. But the background of the farm is what really makes this show, what's really propelled my life into agriculture. And I feel like it's important for you guys to have that background also going forward, even as we get into guests. And, my questions to them may revolve around that of how my background has introduced me to those people that are in their sectors of agriculture. So, like I said, hopefully, maybe by then I'll have new content too. Who knows what the next 2 weeks will bring? It is February, and coming into March, we never know what this weather's going to do. So, as always, it's great talking to you again. Don't forget about the YouTube channel, Everyday Ag Podcast, the Facebook page, Butter Pig Partners, and CraftyDawnBoutique.com to go get your merchandise. Stay warm. Stay out of the elements. Looks like we might have storms coming in. Weather people are always wrong. Hopefully this trip to Wisconsin will treat me fairly, and we'll get up there and back. And maybe I'll even have some great traveling stories for you here in 2 weeks when that comes about. Until next time, we'll see you on the flip side. Thank you all very much.
The proceeding was a paid informational program. The views and opinions expressed were not necessarily those of the staff, management, or advertisers of WOBL Radio.